Hello, 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 and welcome. My name is Patricia D. Freudenberg, also known as Patty from New York. That's annoying, but hey, that's the truth. I like to be playful, and that's who I am. And when I do these lives, they're pop-ups. They were scheduled, and life is not always scheduled. And I come to realize that being in the lane of grief, and my area of focus is legacy. However, I walk you through all the stages, and in grief, there is no schedule. There is no schedule, especially when it first happens. It's sudden. A lot of times, even when we're preparing for it, let's say in a case of hospice, right? I'm using that as an example, or degeneration due to old age, and you know you've been told that your loved one is not going to make it much longer because of diagnosis of the heart and such. The point I'm trying to make is it's still kind of like hits you from left field. Even when you think you are prepared, most of the time you're just not. It's still kind of like, oh, it happened. It's sudden, especially in tragedy. That's like raw and real. The point is, grief just pops up. That's what I'm trying to say. And sometimes it's not even that it's a new grief, but the triggers, they pop up too. So as an end of life coach, I like to say I like to bring death to life. That's my style, and it's not for everybody, but it's for somebody. So if you're that somebody, well, then you've come to the right place, and welcome. This is a new spin on mourning. This is a continuum of Legacy Cafe. I write newsletters as a public service. I host grievance chat rooms where we inspire to elevate and motivate with resources. We're not here, I say we a lot. That's just how I think, because I think we're in this together, right? However, I am not here to fix you. I don't claim to fix anybody except myself, right? But I'll meet you halfway. I'll walk with you. I'll guide you. I'll encourage you. I'll hear you. I see you. And that's what it's about, right? It's about standing by each other, getting through it together. Together we all rise. That's how I look at life. That's how I look at this. And that's why I do these pop-ups, in hopes that my message or something I say just might be the catalyst for you to have a better day and hopefully a better tomorrow. And if it's not for you, well, maybe it's somebody that you love and care about. So again, welcome to this space, a new spin on mourning. And like I mentioned before, I like to share the newsletter that I write, that I get inspired to. And sometimes I share data, research, information from medical studies, a lot of testimony, and sometimes just personal perspective. Again, it's food for thought. It might encourage you, and I hope it does. And if it doesn't, well, then change the channel. And nice seeing you, and thank you for stopping by. Nonetheless, I'm going to stay on purpose for purpose, and that's what I like to do. So with that being said, I just want to go over and share. Let's see here. Here we go. This image is from the newsletter, and it's the last day. And again, I write on such matters to inspire and motivate and educate in any shape, way, and form that I can. A lot of the things I share are things that worked either for me or somebody else, or studies have it, right? I love to use Stanford University as a go-to. This is my favorite. Listen, I won't get into the personals right now, maybe some other day, but let's get to the point. I like to do these pop-ups and usually share as a new format the newsletter that I have. So with that being said, let me go ahead and read this, and I'll follow along here on the screen. I'm going to put my granny glasses on so I can do a better job. And bear with me. And thank you if you're tuning in I hope you're enjoying it. And again, I hope something helps for you today, or maybe tomorrow, or somebody you love. And here we go. I'm just going to go like this, a little less distraction. And let me go like this and bring it up. And this is the last day. And this I'll be reading over here. Well, one day, each of us will face our last day. And it's not a maybe, it's a will be. And while that truth can feel heavy, and it's also a powerful reminder that actions we take today are shaping the legacy we leave behind. Yeah, that part. Well, that is my area of focus. And I like to pivot, and in grief, whether it's a old grief that you're being triggered through anniversary or just reminders, or a fresh grief, it's sudden and new. Let's take our mind off the heaviness. It's going to be there anyway. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. But I also want to remind you that you're in the land of the living, and your loved one, as much as you love them, they must have loved you just the same. And although they, now again, I'm speaking for people that passed on, right? Some nerve. Yeah, well, that part. That's what I do. Okay. Like I said, not for everybody, but I'm for somebody. And I'm here to remind you that I can't imagine that they would want to see you in pain, right? And nobody really knows what happens. All we know for sure, science has it, that energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed. So if they are hearing us, if they are listening to us, I'm sure they would prefer you live the best day you can. And if it's a little step at a time, well, it's a little step at a time. But I write these to encourage you. So as a certified end-of-life coach, one of the first lessons I learned was to talk about it openly, honestly, and without fear. And as my death doula certificate states, right up there on the wall, it says death doula. I prefer to say end-of-life coach. That's okay. I'm allowed to. Part of my calling is to give respite to hospice nurses. And if that's you, well, then you. But my deeper mission is to serve those who are still here, as I mentioned before, and the ones grieving in the land of the living, and help them to live a life to be remembered. That part. Now, facing mortality changes everything. It strips away distractions and forces us to consider what truly matters. And the question isn't if our last day will come, but what will it have done before it arrives? What legacy are you creating? What story will be told about your life? So let me just scroll up here a little bit so we could keep on doing this together. I'm not talking about money or material possessions, although they can be blessings. I'm talking about the imprint you leave on their heart, the values you pass down, and the moments you inspire in others. And at Mistagram, the company I founded, our tagline simply says, everybody wants to be remembered. Beliefs about the afterlife vary. And for me, I believe in angels, in heaven, and in a presence that is here on earth, unseen, yet with us, around us, and among us. And science tells us that energy of the soul cannot be destroyed, as I mentioned before. It can only be transformed. So where does that energy go? What does transformation mean? What does it mean to you? Well, whether you believe in heaven, reincarnation, or simply the continuation of love through the lives we've touched, I encourage you to find a truth that brings you peace. And as the scripture says, be still and know that I am God. So no matter what your denomination is, remind us that we came from somewhere and we are going somewhere. So today I invite you to reflect. Scroll up a little bit. What will you leave behind? What will bring you peace when you think about the afterlife? And what are you doing now to live a life worth remembering? And today's quote, hopefully it inspires you. The measure of life is not in its length, but in the love, light, and legacy it leaves behind. And I'm going to recommend Live Your Legacy, which I wrote. And Live Your Legacy, a new spin on mourning, is an easy to digest 40-page guidebook designed to be your starting point on the path of healing and legacy building. And whether you are in the midst of grief or preparing for the future, this book offers a practical tool, gentle insights, and a fresh perspective to help you navigate through mourning and embrace life's next chapter. And you could just check it out on Amazon. There's the buy on Amazon. You could also check out a little free review. And here we go. I don't know if you could see that. And this book is dedicated to all mankind because everybody wants to be remembered. And here are the chapters. And yeah, check it out. Check it out. Again, thank you for being here. And on another note, let me just remove that from the screen. And there you go. Live Your Legacy, which I just was talking about. And you could find the link in the last day article if you go to missugraham.com, or check out the barcode. That's the link tree with all the other links I have. You can find me on different platforms, and also Amazon influencer, like to promote wellness and just lifestyle recommendations, sympathy gifts. I just want to save this. Well, I'm not really saying anything. I'm pretty much just showing you. This is my my mason. I don't want to get too heavy. And trust me, I feel like I've cried myself out. I don't think I have any more tears, but they're in there. I'll see something, and last minute, when I least expected, it will hit me. And that's how grief is, right? But it's about recovery, and it's about how we choose to catch those moments that don't feel good. And I'm not telling you not to feel. Crying is actually like, it's healthy. I'm not saying, oh, go cry. Like make yourself cry. I'm just saying, like, if it happens naturally, it's going down river, right? So it's natural. And then when it's like exhausting and just doesn't feel good, then take matters into your hands. You have sovereignty over your thoughts. You really do. Dominion, power, whatever word you want to use, but you have it. You don't always have to use it, because then we have to go again to the mental gym. I know I'm a little corny when it comes to some of these like ways I say it, but that's just me. And I encourage you to be you, boo. But if something's not working, if you're finding yourself saying this doesn't feel good, then what can you do with what you have? Well, if you have your mind, if you can use your mind, then take the power back and change the channel. And tears, well, like I said, they come and go. But what are you thinking about when you're crying? Are you thinking about that last day? Are you thinking about that last day? And if you are thinking about that last day, can you think of, well, perhaps they're in heaven now? Or can you think of other things that nobody could take away from you? Those beautiful memories made. Nobody could take that away from you. So how about thinking of that stuff, right? And if you can't even go there because you're just not there yet, sometimes we can't take big leaps. Sometimes it's little tiny steps. So I say this over and over again, and I'll continue saying it. So if you're sick of me saying it, just, don't tune in anymore. But the idea is go macro, go big, or go home. All right. With that being said, tune in for the next pop-up. Thank you so much for everybody who supports. Love you so much. And, keep in touch if there's anything I can help you with. You know where to find me, missugraham.com. Talk to you soon, and thank you.
One app on a world wide web with tributes and memories for all, because everybody wants to be remembered. I pledge allegiance to Instagram of the United States of emotions, and to the deceased for which it stands. One app on a world wide web with tributes and memories for all, because everybody wants to be remembered.